Hey there, sports porchers and 76ers fans. Welcome to your latest edition of 1098 76ers Playoff Talk. I am the Grinch Walbini, and I will be coming to you after every single playoff game, talking facts, talking truths, and just trying to predict what lies in the future of our beloved 76ers. Well, one thing that I can tell you is that this game was very, very frustrating. Um, again, we find ourselves in a situation where we're watching a very enjoyable game, and then midway through the second quarter, Embiid has this highlight reel, from the top of the foul line, throw the ball off the backboard, catch it with one hand, slam dunk over somebody for a posterizing dunk. It was, an unbelievable play. And then he lands funny, and it looks like for a minute, season's over. He basically just went down, landed on his knee funny, and didn't get up. And we go from really enjoying the game because it looked like Embiid came out and it looked like he was in better shape than he was in the playing game. And so we're thinking, oh, this is good. This is really good here. And look, Embiid comes back in the game, ends up playing 39 minutes or 37 minutes rather. Gutted it out. Really played a good game. But man, it's just like every time he he touches the ball, you're bracing for the worst. And it's I was just really thinking like it's just such a shame. It's like Joel Embiid is maybe more talented than any player who's maybe even ever played the game. Now, I'm not saying he's as good as Michael Jordan and all that kind of stuff, but are there any other 7'2" guys that can hit three-pointers like he can, that can shoot, foul shots like he can, that can play down low like he can? There just really isn't anybody if you think back in the history of basketball, and it's like we're just robbed of watching, this just incredible athlete. It's like it almost just feels like we're never gonna see his best, and man, is that frustrating. But let's get into the game. Sixers lose the game 111-104. There were a lot of good things coming from this game. There were a lot of bad things as well. I mean, overall, what I'm going to tell you is that the game was lost with a couple of things. Number one, when Embiid was off the floor, the Sixers were minus 21. Okay, so they lost by 7 points with Embiid off the floor. They're minus 21. Uh, Nobody as a team shoots over 40% on their three-pointers in this league. The Knicks shot 45.7% from three. And Josh Hart, with hit like four in a row to kind of close out the game. The good news is that kind of thing just isn't going to happen. That's not going to happen again. Okay. Um, also kind of concerning, maybe fast break points. The Knicks had 27 to the Sixers 11. And also rebounding. I'll tell you what, this Knicks team has great hustle. Just really exceptional role players who fight for the ball. I mean, rebounds 33 for the Sixers, 55 for the Knicks. They got so many second shot opportunities, so many. So that's where the game was really won and lost. The game started out, the Sixers got off to a nice early lead, maybe like 15 points, kind of nearing the end of the first quarter. Embiid was on fire to start. He had 15, like right out of the gate. Made some incredible plays. Kind of had behind his back layup in the early going. He also had a bounce pass like the length of the floor to Kelly Oubre for a dunk. I think it was late third or fourth quarter. It was just phenomenal. I mean, sensational assist. Um, but then what happens is and the Knicks go on a run. And that's the thing about basketball that I will say is kind of frustrating. It's like it's a game of runs. It doesn't really matter that you're up 15 in the first half because the other team's always going to make a run, especially when they're quality teams. So, the Knicks make their run and they really capitalize when Joel goes down and is out for like the last 5 minutes of the first half. And then the Sixers come back in the third quarter and then they make their run. I think they went on like a 17-1 run. It's at one point, and took a small lead. And then it was kind of neck and neck most of the fourth quarter. And then at the end of the fourth quarter, Josh Hart just went crazy and hit 4 threes in a row. So hey, those things happen. Now that's not going to happen every game, which is I think a good thing for the Sixers. But um, well, what can you say? It wasn't their night tonight. It's not your night when one of the big guys for the Knicks is a 41% free throw shooter. And as time is winding down in the fourth, the Sixers smartly foul him, send him to the line, and he makes 2 of 2. Right. So, sometimes when things like that happen, it's just not your night. But let's talk about how the individual guys did. Embiid, 29 points, 8 boards, 6 assists. I mean, if you consider that it seemed like his season was over in the second quarter, I mean, phenomenal game, phenomenal. It kind of did look like he didn't really have his legs at the very end there. Um, that might have been just trying to be careful with the injury. Maxey played a great game, played 44 minutes tonight. He had 33 points, um, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. Kelly Oubre, always doing his role player thing, played great defense tonight, 5 steals for Oubre. He had 10, 3, and 1. And they got a really good game out of Kyle Lowry tonight. The 38-year-old played 39 minutes, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 for 7 from 3-point land. So great effort by him. Tobias Harris, your typical 7 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, couple brick threes. It's painful to watch, but he wasn't awful tonight. Mainly because he wasn't out there as much as he typically is. I think that Nick Nurse is getting a little tired of him. Actually, though, something I had left out before, another really key area that's gonna need to be improved upon. Um, the Sixers bench versus the Knicks bench. The Sixers bench scored 7 points tonight, only 7 points. Uh, Nick Boom Boom Batum with 3 and Paul Reed with 4. You look at the bench of the Knicks, the Knicks bench scored 42 points tonight. So that was another area. So you kind of look, I mean, there's some real areas where the Sixers were at a huge disadvantage and they were really right in there till the end. Um, I want to talk about this guy McBride on the Knicks. Like, to be honest, I mean, I don't watch a lot of Knicks games. Um, you know, Never really even heard of this dude. He was 5 of 7 from 3-point land, right? Again, not going to happen again. But hey, give it up to him. 21 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. He got the job done tonight. Um, Bogdanovich, he had 13 points, 7 rebounds. He was 3 of 6 from 3. He gave them some quality minutes. Um, Josh Hart, who I said 4 of 8 from 3. And of course, the last 4 he made in a row at the end of the fourth quarter. He had 22 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists. I mean, look, you got to love Josh Hart, Villanova kid. As I'm watching this game, I'm sitting here thinking, like, geez, these are some guys that I would have liked the Sixers to have got at the deadline. I believe Josh Hart was a deadline guy. If not this year, it might have been last year. I don't know where the McBride guy came from, but Bogdanovich was also a a trade deadline this year. Jalen Brunson, look, they really kind of held him in check. I mean, he's their star player, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. I think, he played a decent game. I felt like he made shots when he needed to at some critical times, but they did hold him 1 for 6 from 3-point land. So you can't be too disappointed in that. Um, let's just take a look in terms of field goal percentage. The Sixers 44.4%, the Knicks 39.6 from three. The big difference here, they made 4 more threes than the Sixers. The Knicks did, and the 3-point percentage for the Knicks was 45.7% to the Sixers 34.3%. So that's a big difference. Like I said before, rebounds, big difference. 55 for the Knicks, Sixers 33. It's almost like if Embiid's not getting the rebound, is anybody getting the rebound? And they have some guys who can pull down some rebounds. They just need to improve in that area. I mentioned the fast break points was a big disadvantage. The Knicks scored 16 more fast break points than the Sixers did, and points in the paint. That's an area where the Sixers, obviously with Embiid, did 10 better than the Knicks in terms of 46-36. Everything else, as you would imagine in like a 7-point game, assists, steals, blocks, free throw percentage, turnovers, all about the same. All about the same. So, what I take out of this game is a few things. One, don't be too discouraged by the loss. What you want to do is you want to go into New York and you want to come out with a split. So if they win on Monday night, they did their job and we're feeling good coming home. Now, granted, they have to do that, but to me, I always feel like the series begins when a road team wins a game on the road. Um, the other thing I take out of this game is that certain things that the Knicks did, they're not going to do again. They're not going to shoot 45.7% from three. They're just not going to do that. McBride is not going to go 5 for 7. Hart is not going to go 4 for 8. Now look, they might get a better game from Jalen Brunson. Maybe Bogdanovich goes off in a game for 3-pointers. But those things just, they're kind of outliers, right? It's not something likely to happen. So don't be too discouraged about your Sixers. But obviously, the next thing is Embiid's health, right? Look, if he's able to play the way he played after he came back from the injury in this game, yeah, I think we're right in the series. But who knows? Was that adrenaline? Did they shoot him up? We'll have to see. Like, does it swell up tomorrow? Is he a go for game 2? Obviously that's going to have a huge impact because if there's no Embiid, there's no chance to win. It's really as simple as that. So, look, can't win them all. Didn't imagine that they could. If this team's going to go far in the playoffs, these are going to be 6 and 7 game series. So we lost one tonight, but Sixers fans, keep the faith. The Grinch Walbini has looked into the future and he sees good things. He sees good things. So believe in your Grinch Walbini. Believe in the future projection. Hang in there. We'll get him back on Monday night. The Grinch Walbini says, I am out.